Okay, well, I think it is 7:30. Let's get the meeting call to order. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everybody today. So big welcome. And as I said, we've got a very busy agenda today. We may go over a little bit, but I understand if anybody has to leave for other purposes. But we'll try and keep to schedule. But I'm going to turn it over to Tim, because this is our most anticipated part as well, to see what Tim has come up with for this morning. So good morning, Tim.
Thank you, President Ann. I have a very low-key but cute video from Bouctouche, New Brunswick. It's from a Francophone school, so here we go.
Oh, that was cute ending as well, blowing the kiss like that. That's lovely. Thank you, Tim. Okay, I'm going to pass it over now to our Sergeant at Arms. Al, what do you have for us today?
Good morning, President Ann. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. A warm welcome to you all, and a special warm welcome to our guest speaker, Andrea. Good morning. Nice to see you this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Kim. Right, Kim from Matthews House. Thank you for joining us this morning. Warm welcome. We also have some welcomes. Dwayne, a guest of Marlene's. Is Dwayne here this morning? Dwayne, nice to see you, and a warm welcome to you. We love our guests visiting us. And how are you doing in these troubled times? You keeping safe?
I am keeping safe and busy, and trying to enjoy as much as the weather as I can as it opens up and gets warmer.
Well, it's good to see you, my friend, and welcome. Welcome to our Rotary Club. Moving down the line here, Michael Tuff. Where's Michael? Michael, I know you're waiting to join our club, and we're so looking forward to this happening. It would be wonderful if we could do it all in person. But I just wanted to comment, Michael. I saw the other day online you had done a video, and it only lasts for 1 minute and 51 seconds. But it's about buying a house in these times. And I thought, my goodness, it was so well done. It was so professional. Then I read a little further and found out that you've been a child actor, and you've worked with some notable actors and actresses. And I just wanted to tell you that was really well done. And we're so looking forward to you joining our club, Michael. It's nice to see you this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks.
All right, and now moving over to Jennifer. Where's Jennifer Hastings, our manager at Habitat? And Jennifer, you brought your boss this morning?
Yes, I did.
And your boss is Robert, and I'll get this right, Sequoia?
Sequoia.
Sequoia.
Yeah.
Robert, good morning. And you're the head man at Habitat.
No, I'm just one of the employees that works for you guys, the public.
Well, listen, it's a wonderful organization. Jennifer's been coming here on a regular basis now, and it's nice to see you this morning, and welcome, and thanks for everything you do.
Thank you very much.
Now, Jamie's going to be here later. Is Wendy here from the library?
Morning.
Wendy, good morning.
Morning.
Wonderful to see you, and so looking forward to seeing you back at the functions we have at the library. You're a big supporter of our club, and it's so nice to see you. Now, I did want to mention, we've had a couple of birthdays on Monday. Jeff, it was your birthday, and Sue Gilchrist, it was her birthday. So just very quickly, because we want to get to our business, but I told my wife, I said, you know, it's your birthday and we're going to do something special. I'm taking you somewhere special. So Sue, how did that work out?
It worked out well. We went and got our vaccination.
Yeah.
We were like kids. We were bouncing around the house when we got our invitation. It just seemed to lift the feeling. It was just wonderful.
And it went like clockwork. The people, it was at the Y in Innisfil. It was very professional, very friendly. You couldn't ask for a better setup, and I was most impressed. So that light at the end of the tunnel, it's not a locomotive coming towards you. It is the daylight that we're heading for, and things are going to get better. So thank you, President Ann, and again, a warm welcome to all our guests.
Thank you, Al. And again, from myself, a warm welcome to all our guests today. It's great to see everybody. I'm going to turn it over to Jen now to introduce our guest speaker today.
Thank you, President Ann. Kim has been the Chief Executive Officer of Matthews House Hospice since July 2015. As a manager and director in this and previous positions, she has led and developed the quality of client and resident services and programs, including community service in Simcoe County and York Region, both pediatric and adult, in the realm of rehabilitation, habilitation, psychogeriatrics, palliative, and hospice care, and also quality of life and compassionate community initiatives. In her roles at Matthews House Hospice and at the Children's Treatment Network's Simcoe York, she developed keen interest in leadership, caregiver expertise, and health equity. Kim recently led Matthews House Hospice in the building and transition of a small community hospice to a regional hub and center of excellence for hospice and palliative care. In each of her roles, Kim has been a champion of teamwork to enhance the health, quality of life, and meaningful living of individuals and families in the communities she has served. Please join me in welcoming Kim.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you. That always sounds so grand, but really, it's a pleasure to serve all of the communities in South Simcoe. And I've been to have a chat, I think, with the Rotary in Innisfil when you were meeting at the library a couple of years ago, just as we had moved into our new facility, or were getting ready to move in. So I am, it's a pleasure to be back again. And so I thought I'd just provide a little update on what's up with Matthews House and the services that are now available. And I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. So I'm kind of used to doing this, but let's see. Please let me know once I do share my screen that you can see a picture here. Oop. You should be able to see now a very happy group of people at Matthews House Hospice. This was our grand opening in 2018. Can someone signal that you can see that now? Yeah, good. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to belabor this slide. Oh dear. Why is that not moving forward? Just give me a minute here. I might have to get up to do this. So just bear with me, and I'm turning the screen. Let's see. No. All right. I'm going to do this a different way. There. Can you guys see my screen still?
No.
No? Okay, I'm going to try again. Sorry, a little technical difficulty here. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Why is it not moving along? There we go. So we did develop the Center of Excellence, which is the picture of the grand opening that you saw 2 years ago, and have been working very hard now on serving our community. And I thought I would start with something that I think that the Rotary Club could help us with. And what we want to say and what we are saying to everyone in our communities that we serve here in South Simcoe is that often we hear when someone has been provided with a referral for hospice care, or when we've been asked to reach out to someone, and even sometimes physicians and the people who are serving individuals in our community, we often hear the words, "I'm not ready for hospice," or "I'm not there yet." And what we think about that is that people, when they hear the word hospice, they think, uh-oh, they think I'm dying and I'm not ready to die yet. So often when people are saying to us, "I'm not ready for hospice service," they're maybe actually saying to us, "I'm not ready to die, so I don't need your help." And so we could use your help with that in the community. And so we're trying to get the word out about what hospice actually is and does. And, you know, fancy framework comes from the World Health Organization. We've heard lots about them during the pandemic. Anyway, there's just a way of thinking about hospice care, which looks something like this. And you're not going to see much death and dying here. You're going to see fitness, the ability for people to, you know, be able to do their activities in a pain-free manner, function, being actually able to do activities that an individual enjoys or a family enjoys together, friendship. So social isolation is something that hospice helps with. Family, often in our world right now with the rising costs of healthcare and so on, it almost always falls to a family member or a neighbor next door or a friend to provide support to someone who has an illness like cancer and so on. And so hospice supports them. And the notion is that life is worth living. And hospice is about living life to the fullest and having fun. There's also that thing, and surprisingly enough, people are often surprised that we talk a lot about future and making plans. So at the moment when you actually become sick or you have a health issue, you know exactly what you want to do about that, and the people that you love know what you wanted them to do. For instance, if you were in a car accident or something like that, or had a stroke and you couldn't talk for yourself what you wanted to do. So all of those, surprisingly enough, about what hospice does. So you can imagine that there's not much there that is really about dying, the actual act of dying or being dead. So anyway, just being all specific about that. So what we're doing at Matthews House, through the activities of our work around evidence-based practice and research and all of that good stuff that centers of excellence do, is that we're developing this model, which is called the Living Right Now model. And basically, what it does is it explains to people in words that we use about what hospice is. And so you can see it's got that little question, what are you ready for? And also there are kind of 3 levels of support that Matthews House is now providing. And the very first level, the biggest part of what we do, is helping people to survive and thrive. And it's all about our wellness programs and active living. The second level is more intensive things that people might need if they're experiencing a mental health issue or a physical health issue in terms of support and caregiver relief and all of that good stuff. And yes, we do have a 10-bed residential hospice that provides care here at the site in Alliston, or we also will send our residential team out if someone is dying and would like to die at home. So our nurses and personal support workers will come right to your home in Innisfil if that is a need. So, and this is how we are communicating about what hospice is. And so if you have a chance, please spread the word and help us with spreading this message that mostly, for most of the people, for example, before COVID-19, so the year before COVID-19, I can't believe it's been a year. Anyway, the year before COVID-19, that blue band at the bottom that was Survive and Thrive, we served 3,000 people. And the little yellow tag at the top, we served just over 200 people. So you can see the most important thing that we're doing for our communities are the Survive and Thrive and the increased support levels of this service. And we do it in partnership with all the people in our community. And, you know, big shout out this year to the Innisfil Library, who has been supporting our virtual provision of some of that support this year. So basically all of that is to say that one of the myths of hospice is that we're all about dying, and our message is we're actually all about living until, and the quality of that life. And so just to say, I'm not going to read all the way through this, but there's loads of folks who can access service at Matthews House. An example would be Martha. She has a new diagnosis of breast cancer, and she's going to be a survivor, but she needs support. So she could get support at Matthews House. Earl has Parkinson's disease, and he is surviving, but he's starting to have some problems with his memory and so on. And his wife is exhausted. And so Earl and his wife are the sort of folks who can access services and support from hospice. And the last example I have of someone who might access service is a 16-year-old who will die likely from muscular dystrophy, but his young siblings need support about that because they're going to lose their brother. And, you know, there's someone talking about suicide, and Matthews House Hospice can definitely help someone with their advanced grieving. So also, so you can see the whole age range of folks can receive support. Those are just some examples, and particularly this year during COVID-19, we have been continuing to provide service. Hospice was identified as one of the essential services to remain open and rolling. And for some of the time during the year, we were the only mental health-based service that was available locally when others were caused to shut down at the beginning of the pandemic. So our big deal here is that we're helping elderly people to survive, not fail to thrive, and also preventing lots of folks from feeling so sad and considering suicide. All right. So back to more cheerful stuff, which is the model and all the fun that can happen for folks to have good quality life at Matthews House. And so then our vision, offering care and compassionate services inclusive of everybody. And the vision also is inspired by the strength of those we serve. So we're striving to be the place of choice for living well and dying, if that needs to be. And so basically our message is hospice is more than many people think, and it is all about mental health. Because often we find if someone comes to us and they're having a great deal of physical pain, yes, we help them with those symptoms. However, if they are feeling sad, anxious, family issue that is unresolved, lonely, that physical pain is going to be much worse. There's no medication in the world that will help if your quality of life is poor. So what are we doing about that? So brand new this year is our Butterfly Health and Wellness Services. So we're kind of packaging up all of the things that we do for health and wellness. Some of it is a social enterprise. So what do we mean by that? Some of it is fee for service. It's going to keep our hospice engine going. And also much of it is not fee for service. Providing good health and wellness supports and really highlighting that lower blue band of our living right now model, which is survive and thrive. We're still providing all of the great hospice services that we have been all the way along in all of our communities. And particularly, I want to highlight that it's not all about coming to Alliston. We do provide all of the services at home and also at the Rizzardo Center and library, and hopefully soon in person. What we do in the residence, you can come for a short stay to get symptoms under control if that is a need, or if a caregiver at home really needs a break so they don't get sick themselves, someone can come and stay with us so their family member can have a break and then go home again. And you don't have to be dying to access those programs. You can be surviving some of the treatments that the healthcare system is still providing you if you are struggling with cancer, as an example. And there's lots of fun. See the smiling faces. Lots of activities and opportunities for social. And we've gone virtual, of course, during the pandemic time with many of these while we're not able to have groups in person. And we're also supporting people at home, and we're asking for help from all of the service clubs to help us and pitch in to create good, compassionate neighborhoods, especially at this time. So lots of volunteers from other than our normal group of volunteers to do things like drop-offs of groceries and so on and so forth during the pandemic time. And actually, we think we'll continue providing that service after, because it turns out those who we started to provide just a social moment or a drop off of something during the pandemic actually probably needed that service before pandemic. We just didn't know about it. All right. So examples of that are also things like going grocery shopping for some, rides to activities, companionship, you know, taking dogs for walks if someone can't go outside, that kind of stuff. And our volunteers do that, and as well other folks from the community do that as well with our encouragement in neighborhoods. And so right now for Matthews House in your area, we are looking for volunteers who can go do things like that. A little bit of grocery shopping, change batteries in smoke detectors, shovel a little bit of snow, although hopefully that's gone for the year now, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, please give us a call. And then just for Andrea, who usually does this bit of the presentation, just to let you know, we're still fundraising. Most of the dollars for our services that we provide in the community. So on this slide, our sources of revenue, yes, we receive provincial dollars to provide the residential program, and also a little bit of funding for our community program, actually payment for our volunteer coordination. But other than that, we are raising all of our funds through the generosity of our community, and we're spending most of it, that big blue part, on services. And, very proud of that fact that through the kindness of our community, we're able to do that. And I mentioned it before, with our services for families, but also during the pandemic, and likely a little bit onwards, because people are kind of having fun with it, but we're doing much of our fundraising through virtual fun. Very popular Drinking for Charity series, lotteries, virtual challenges, and auctions. And right now, if you were to go online, there's our Embrace the Ace, which is a progressive lottery. So there's a prize every week, but a certain amount of the money keeps building. And we hope everyone will support our virtual fundraising. The golf tournament will go again in the fall, because we're predicting that we'll all have had our vaccinations and we're able to do that. Currently, we're doing our hike for hospice, hike, bike, and bark, kind of virtually, but there'll be a big parking lot kind of deal go on in May, hopefully. And for the fall, we really hope for the Dragonfly Spirit Ball. It might be home edition too, all depends how we're doing with COVID-19. That's it. Please talk to those you know and those you love who may need support, because that's our main message, is that we're here to serve Innisfil and what they're ready for, and get them to give us a call.
Thank you, Kim. You've certainly helped smash the perception that hospice care is just for those who are very close to death. And I know you do service a lot of people in the Innisfil area as well. I just wanted to mention to you before I open it up for questions, our next person who is supposed to be here today, though is having technical difficulties, is about how Rotary is here to help. So please contact me, let me know what kind of volunteers you need within the Innisfil community, because I know our members will be willing and able to help you in any way that they can. So please contact me if you know about that. And thank you for that presentation. I'm going to turn it over now to see if anybody else has any questions for you.
Oops. I'm trying to, there we go. Yeah.
Anybody have any questions or comments here?
I do actually, President Ann. How do you get somebody to hospice? So in other words, is it by, I can phone up and say, I've just had an operation and I need help? Or does it have to be a doctor's referral? Or, you know, how can people get in there?
So our community, you know, this place developed by the community for the community. So same deal. Anyone can just contact us directly. Just call us, email us. They can send, there's lots of ways through our website where you can, you know, hit a button and ask for someone to give you a call. There's a multitude of ways that we ask people just call us directly. You don't need a physician's referral. We may seek out one if we you know, if for the care that you're looking for, we need it, but we'd help you with that. So
Okay.
we're saying to everyone, just call us directly. Mhm.
Thank you, Janet.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Kim?
Yes, I have a question. It's Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
I'm wondering if you provide any respite support for parents who have high needs children. In other words, do you have some high needs children cycling in and out with medical issues, you know, usually, but
Right.
are you able to do any of that through your facilities, or is it, you know, too much demand and not enough space?
So at the moment, we do provide that kind of respite for children who are critically ill. And when I mean critically ill and their families, it's like that example I flipped up on the screen. So many children with multiple special needs are in fact eventually going to die. And so we partner with the Children's Treatment Network here in this region, and they call on us when they are needing support, both from a medical point of view, so advice on medications, because it's a bit tricky with pediatrics. Not all medications have been actually tested with the pediatric world. I won't get into it in too much detail, but anyway, that team calls on our team is basically the answer. And yes, we do provide help, and we have a few kids on our caseload right now.
Excellent, thank you.
President Ann, one more question.
Go ahead, Sue.
Kim, I'd just like to know if this is the progression for all hospices now. Is it like a government mandate, or is it something that Matthews House has just embraced?
Right. So this has always been the situation for hospices across the province. So this has always been the vision. We're just getting better at communicating it and helping people understand it. And so Matthews House Partners, we have in this region the Simcoe County Alliance of Hospices. And so you could call, and I should have mentioned it, that you could call Hospice Simcoe, also, you know, right next door, and they would help in the same way. They don't have the Sanctuary at Home program, so the end of life care sending their residential team out, but they do provide all the other stuff that we do, and they have hopes of developing that service. So all of our regional hospices, I'm going to say, in Simcoe County are in differing levels of developing that service. Matthews House is a bit ahead of the game on a couple of things like that program I mentioned, but all of the other community supports and the volunteer stuff, the hospices all have. So you could call any hospice in Simcoe County, and we talk to each other. Actually, we meet once a week to jointly deliver services. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Again, thank you so much for your presentation. Please don't hesitate to contact me so we can coordinate something with our members, because I know we'd be more than willing to help you in any way we can amongst the Innisfil community. So you are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. Our next speaker, who has now been able to join us, is going to talk to us about we're reaching out to the community to let them know that Rotary is here and how can we help. So again, thank you for your message today. It's been very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. I have another meeting to go to, but it was a pleasure. And I will be in touch because we have a couple of new programs that we need quite a few volunteers for. So
great. I'd love to hear
don't
from
be surprised. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Moving on, Jamie's now been able to join us. Jamie, we're on the same internet connection. What happened?
I don't know. I couldn't get anything in mind to work, and I get outdated technology. The only one that's important in my house is my wife, which, of course, Bruce can understand, but you know.
Okay, well, without further ado, Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you just for the benefit of the rest of our attendees. Jamie and Sydney Hardie have been working on kind of an advertising campaign for us to let people know that Rotary's here. We want to help. Let us know what help you need. And Wendy's on the call as well, and the library have very kindly offered to help us in our campaign by having posters, bookmarks available to advertise the fact that Rotary's here and contact us. So I'll turn it over to you now, Jamie.
Yeah, so I understand I have 10, 15 minutes, right? Tops, and I'll get out of there.
You have 2 now.
Okay, well, I do, I know.
Yeah,
so what we did was, we have been working on it in a bubble. I met with Anne, and who was in the committee as well? Anne, do you remember who all was in the committee?
It was the board that you were originally.
Okay. So we haven't been doing this in a bubble. We initially, I met with Anne, and she gave me an update as far as, everyone can hear me, right? Okay. As far as the type of things Rotary is doing, and basically through conversation that, yeah, like Anne said, we're still here and we're here to help. She talked about, you know, how we might be able to help with people struggling, being housebound, isolated as a result of COVID or whatever. Basically came down to it's a helping thing. We talked about different ways we could get the message out in a affordable way using our, you know, a joint venture partner like the library, and through their, it's not always who you know, it's who your friends know, as you know, through the Rotary. Rotary does this like no one else. So the library could be really helpful in reaching that audience. We also talked about reaching people at Sandy Cove as far as utilizing the service and sending out bookmarks to with all the books that get signed out at the library. So very targeted, but kind of, you know, still in our wheelhouse. And what we came up with and presented was, sorry, you have to bear with me. I'm on Sydney's machine, so I'm going to share screen. So if it doesn't work, can you see all our junk all over the screen? Oh, there we go. How about this? You see all my clutter? I can't hear.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Sydney will love that I'm showing all her clutter. And sorry, this should take care of some of that. Okay, we good? Everything a little cleaner, a little clearer to see?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so what we did was we came up with creative basically around what we said. We're here to help. Yes, we're still here and we're here to help. For those of you calling us from home and anyone who's familiar with us, the fact that Rotary is offering help of all sorts comes as no surprise. The Rotary Club of Innisfil has always risen to the occasion and helping those isolated, and it goes on with our messaging. The basic general premise is we wanted to show something that was a little more fresh, a more youthful target audience, because that we want to revitalize our target audience, aiming at people a little younger than ourselves. This was one of the creatives. We showed 2 or 3 creatives, and then we asked the committee what they liked or disliked from each. So this was one of the creatives. This shows here, if you can see my arrow, which it'll pretty small if you're on laptops, but.
Sorry, can I just jump in? Just to let the club know that those photos there are going to be replaced by Whitney and Ryan.
Yes,
for the photos for the Innisfil Rotary Club.
Yeah, as you can see, this is a stock photo of a generic guy helping with groceries, but this shows, these are rough ideas to show what it might look like. Janet, you're very familiar with this kind of stuff. So here's what it might look like on our Facebook page. Then we, as a different version, we thought, you know, in this case, when we're talking about a helping hand, it's got some nostalgia, and the trust that Rotary has over the years has got some real cachet, especially in trusting people to drive you, to pick you up your home, to help in things that, you know, to show weakness even for asking for help. So the older retro look actually has some value for us. Plus for visibility and legibility for an older target audience, there's some value there. So we did decide to show something very over the top retro, but the value of that and the spirit and brand, it's suitable. So as far as feedback, what we got was, and then finally, sorry, I'll show you the last one, was this, the idea of a sheltering umbrella. Need help, we've got you covered. The umbrella forming a nose and a happy face kind of thing, clever, designy thing. And I'll tell you what people thought. We were kind of split between this look, sticking with attracting or being vigilant about a younger, not your grandfather's Rotary, and the value of this. And we were split right down the middle, like the board. They liked both. Nobody liked this. This was cold. This was impersonal. In fact, I think there was, what did we say? Yeah, cold, impersonal. This looked like an insurance ad. And actually an umbrella with "we got you covered." So yeah, very, very interesting. These were supposed to be problems raining down on somebody that you were sheltering them from and that kind of thing. But you know, you never know. You get different ideas, and one's going to have more value than others. But this was almost repulsive. No one liked this, right? So then after talking about it, we thought we don't have to necessarily settle on one look or one design for this. If we're going to get people to act, it's good to have imagery change. So we're going to want whatever we do to have a few different variations of it to release. Branding the Rotary isn't really all that important. As important as getting the message out. And a different vehicle might be more useful or more attractive to a different target audience. So while this might be more attractive to attracting new members or getting people to take a second look because it doesn't quite look like what the Rotary might normally do, or doesn't reek of nostalgia, the ones that do reek of nostalgia might have a real warm, caring feeling for a piece that might go out or might be posted at Sandy Cove, perhaps, right? The idea, the group decided that, you know, these tear-offs were a good idea. Generally, the other things people said were, you know, there was maybe a little too much white in this. So, you know, when we go to final, we'll have to play around with that. After that, we revised the copy. What I'm going to show you is kind of final, but copy can change right up until we're done, right up until we go to print, whatever effort we use. And, but we revised the copy. And this is the kind of revised look and copy. Need help? Rotary Club is here for you. Rotary Club Innisfil is here to bring together businesses and professional leaders to foster goodwill and peace around the world, especially here at home. So to help those isolated, housebound, or impacted by COVID-19 in Innisfil is no different. It's simply a helping thing. Groceries, doctor's appointments, coffee and conversation, and more. Whatever your challenge, you know, ask us, kind of thing. Again, what type of services we offer and what we put in these bullets and those specifics, they are all open to, you know, getting a final approval, of course. But this is the general, this is the look. Whitney, is Whitney here? Is Whitney in this group?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, she's
there. My wife commented on how curly your husband's beard was, by the way. You never see guys with real, you know, curly beards like that. Anyway, so yeah, so this is the final look. it gets tough to, I mean, this is really nice photography, but you got to really look at somebody's eyes. So we got to make sure their eyes were smiling in the picture. So we had a lot of good pictures, but and I think they turned out great. But it's funny how much eyes are so important now in your photography. We shot on location at the library because it's a place in the community. It's nice to have a background to give it a sense of place and comfort rather than a cold standard portrait. And the library is our home. So I think they turned out lovely. This shows how another picture would be used in our social media. And then again, we still have slightly different, a few different words here and there, but this for maybe a posting at Sandy Cove, or if we want to rotate it something a little more fun and funky through the mix. Ideally, no matter what you put out there, there's a fine line. In branding, it's about consistency of something. But if you get blindly consistent, you only send out one image, it's just replication, it's just duplication, it's just adding noise. So what you want is, you do need a change to demand reinvestigation. And advertising, it's more important than branded efforts and those type of things. Advertising, it's all about, can we change it up to, so people have to take a second look. They see something a little different, which demands a reinvestigation. But anyway, I am done my time. Any questions?
Right, thanks, Jamie. What I'm going to suggest for the club is, Jamie, if you send me some copies of those, and I can get them out to all the members this week and invite their feedback, so we can kind of finalize this by next week. I'd appreciate that. But in the meantime, did anybody have any burning questions to ask Jamie? Even though it says Sydney, it is Jamie. I couldn't.
Yeah, sorry, I'm at Sydney.
Just a quick comment, Ann.
Yes, go ahead, Al.
So Jamie, you've been a friend of our club now for many, many years, and you've been such a support. But I got to tell you, you've gone over the top with this. I think it's wonderful. Whitney, you're a star. Your eyes are beautiful.
I know, right?
And Jamie, I just, on behalf of everyone, I just want to thank you so much for all the work. You're a great guy, and you're very talented, and we're lucky to have you.
I will pass that along to Sydney. You guys should know I do little scribbles with a marker and pen, and Sydney makes them look like this.
All right, make sure you do.
I will.
Okay, anybody else have any questions or comments for Jamie?
I do.
Right.
Just great work. Great work. I love them. I love all the concepts, actually. And yes, the other one does look like an insurance ad. Having worked in an insurance company for years, yes, it does. But one of the things I wanted to ask is, was there not a way we could have used our Rotary face masks for the pics?
Yeah, I never thought about it. I never thought about it.
Okay.
We had to wear masks. We were only allowed to shoot inside with masks, so
right.
It never crossed my mind. I have seen Anne with the Rotary face mask. Now that you.
Yeah, so maybe like this run is great. Now the other question is, are you looking to put these in like newspapers or just be through internet?
Primarily through social media, but through library and a few places around town. The library, as a result of Innisfil 200, has that connection with a lot of the eateries. So if eateries opened up, then we'd have the opportunity to put rack cards on their tables and posters in their stores. Otherwise, it'll be strictly social media and through the book handouts at the library. So I picture stall advertising and on-site at the library and like the town hall, and then every library book to get a bookmark inserted with this messaging.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great.
And Wendy also mentioned yesterday, I was talking to Wendy yesterday. Wendy, are you still on the line? I can't see because Jamie's got the screen up.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that for the folks who get the books delivered to home as well, you would make sure that one of those goes in the bag as well, right?
Yeah, we have a home library service, and I believe the numbers are around maybe 20 to 25 residents so far, but we've been like ramping up and trying to get more people signing up as well. So yeah, definitely that's like a good target
Yeah, they're a perfect target audience for people that need help. So thank you so much to the library for your efforts in helping us on this. Jamie, thank you so much. If you send me those, and I'll distribute stuff to the club members so that we can, they've got a chance to review and maybe add the final comments. I don't think at this point we're going to change the pictures, but it could be the content on what we're willing to assist with. And I don't know if you can superimpose the, if I lend you my my mask, if you can superimpose it onto Whitney.
We could it wouldn't look like your mask, but we could Photoshop something and dress it up somehow, I'm sure. Okay. Or at least I can get City to take a try at it. Hiring the photographer again might be a little prohibitive.
Yeah, no, I think we can probably, Janet, that was a good suggestion. I think we can.
We hadn't thought about it. I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you, Jamie. We really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you very soon.
Okay, have a great day. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Jamie. Okay. And thanks, Wendy, again, for everything the library is offering to do to help us on this initiative. How do people feel about it generally? Like a thumbs up? Yeah? Okay, that's great. And I'll get the stuff out to everybody. And if anybody has any comments, Whitney, thank you to you and Ryan for being our models for the photo shoot. Great pictures. Just quickly, before we move on, RYLA. Doug, you're on the line there. We've got 3 RYLA applications this year. We actually had more. And one of the Barry clubs has very kindly offered to pick up any slack for us if those other 2 people still want to. We had 2 others who were potentially candidates, and they have very kindly offered to pick up the slack for us on those and would sponsor those 2 people as well. But we do have 3 from our club. So Doug, I sent you some information yesterday, and I've contacted the 3 people in our club who have candidates for RYLA. So I've let the RYLA team know that we have 3 candidates from our club. So hopefully we can get moving on that one. So that's great. It is a board meeting next Tuesday. So if anybody has anything that they'd like to have discussed at the board meeting, please let me know. And we have been sending Jeff and Tim our suggestions for fundraising. And because this was such a packed agenda this week, I've asked them to just give a brief summary as to how many suggestions they've received, and then we're booking time for them for next week's session. We'll discuss stuff at the board meeting as well, but also at next week's session as to what are the best ideas for us to go forward with. So Tim or Jeff, do you want to take it for a couple of minutes to talk about what's come in?
Very brief. We only have about 7 so far. They're all excellent suggestions that range anywhere from, preferring to go with the status quo to very small campaigns to go big. So we are all over the place. This is a really great time that between now and the meeting next Tuesday, if anybody else wants to present their idea, whether it's small, medium, large campaign, get that to me and Jeff so we can have a better presentation for the meeting. But we have lots of ideas for who should be getting the proceeds, and so we have information to work with.
One other thing, on the lottery licensing, all the proceeds have to stay in Ontario. They cannot be sent out overseas or anywhere else. Because we've had a few suggestions like that also. So it has to stay in Ontario, unfortunately, because it's licensed. But any other fundraising that we don't need licensing for, that money can be used anywhere.
Agreed.
So.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. And I see Barry Kempenfeld Club is auctioning off a BMW, and it's very clear when you go on their site that you have to be a resident of Ontario, in fact, to buy tickets for their draw for the car as well. They actually use your location services to determine that you are a resident of Ontario. So thank you guys. I look forward to hearing on Tuesday and then again next week what kind of suggestions the club members have come forward with. But again, I encourage everybody to send your suggestions to Tim and Jeff, because there's a lot of great ideas out there, and you know, it's the only way we're going to be able to create funds to be able to help out moving forward. So thank you, Tim and Jeff, for everything you're doing on this too. Okay, we obviously don't have time for a good news round this week, but do we have anything for the Learning Corner, Janet?
Yeah. So in 1989, today, as of today, we're actually one of the worst oil spills, the Exxon Valdez, let go of 1.1 million gallons of oil. And protecting the environment, and this is one of the things that Rotary does, is we work with protecting with the environment. That's one of our actual focuses. It's one that we can actually talk about through some of the projects that's there. So even though that was in the ocean and it was a larger spill, we also have spills that come out here as well. And interestingly enough, Rotary clubs around the world participate in the cleanup as well. So we're coming up to usually April and May, we start doing our own cleanups in our own backyard, so to speak. So in Innisfil with our pitching committees. So I'm not sure whether we're going to be doing our environmental cleanup this year, but hopefully if you are doing a spring walk, like I quite often will walk down to the lake, take a garbage bag with you and start sort of picking that stuff up that's the debris from the winter and that. And so that's one of the ways that we can do it. Just remember to wear your gloves and your mask and take your bag out. And that's your Learning Corner.
Thank you, Janet. Talking of waterfront cleanup, Doug, do you have anything to add to that? The Rotary initiative?
Yeah, there's been meetings at both the town level with Kim Kramer and the pitching crew already, and there's also been meetings with the Rotary group, and we're trying to combine everything together. And now that we've got a very early spring by the looks of things, we're going to be able to go ahead for the first 2 weeks of May.
Oh, that's terrific. Thank you, Doug. And also, just before we end, we did send out an email earlier in the week about an initiative where Rotary can help with the vaccination efforts by helping to register people. And thanks to those members of our club who have already signed up to assist with that. Again, if there's anybody else who can help with that, the sign-up information was in the email that we sent out to you. So that is one way that we can get involved in the vaccination effort, which is great. Now, we are at 8:30 and it has been a bit of a rush meeting, but does anybody have anything they want to add before we sign off for today?
President Ann, can I remind everybody about the Rotary weekend that's coming up? It's virtually this year, but we know it as the North Bay weekend. And even if you're not a president-elect or a secretary-elect or whatever, there's lots of stuff to learn there, and even the plenary sessions will be great. So if you can't do the whole 2 days all morning because it's 9 till noon, there's no cost to register, and you can take pick and choose what you would like to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Barb. And just a reminder for those in our club, we've got 4 members who are signed up for the RLI training part 2. It's the last of the 3 parts this Saturday. And a big thank you, shout out to Janet for handling all the IT aspects of the training course for the district. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. It's been a good meeting, lots to absorb. I'll get the brochures out, but please let me know as soon as possible if you'd like to suggest any changing to any of the wording. As Jamie says, changes to the wording can go right up to the last minute. Thank you again to Wendy for the library's participation in this. And everybody have a great week and a safe week. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, President Ann. Have a great day. Stay
Thank you.
safe.
You too. Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.